Welcome to another episode of She Conversations. This is what we are calling the wrap up
The finale.
of season 2. Um, so it's been a powerful journey so far. Um, I know that with this podcast, our whole goal was to create a space where women, Black women, can come on here to talk about their lived experiences. And with this season, our commitment was to um, continue to address, HIV stigma, isolation, raise awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've continued to do that. One thing that's important is that, you know, as Black women or as anyone, we're not defined by our HIV status. So we didn't lead each episode with HIV, HIV, HIV because, again, that's not how we lead our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, our approach was to explore, you know, how HIV and sexual health is connected to so many other areas of our lives, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we talked about self care, mental health. We talked about um, consent and autonomy. We talked about intimate partner violence. We talked about maternal health. We talked about youth and mentorship. Um, and then, all while having those conversations, you know, our goal was to unpack or explore that intersectionality between HIV, sexual health, and those topics.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think we did a
Yeah.
good job of trying to do that?
And I hope our audience feel that we were trying to do that, trying to incorporate it into each one of our episodes, as well as be an avenue for Black women to get like good information,
Mm-hmm.
like information that's sound, that's true, and hopefully that they feel that as well. Because we tried to bring guests that were professionals in their own right, depending on the topic, to kind of discuss different things, cover different areas, I should say, to make sure that the resources out there and the ways if you wanted to be connected was there as well. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of our guests we met just
mm-hmm,
before taping,
mm-hmm.
because it's important for us being I don't even know. Can we say we're a new organization anymore? It's been 5 years, I
I
guess.
think so. I think so.
Okay,
Yes.
we're still networking. We're still
Mm-hmm.
trying to develop these relationships. So, just having to, and considering that our personalities were both more on the introvert side of things,
Mm-hmm.
just forcing us to step outside of our comfort zone to make these connections.
Right.
And a lot of this have come from word of mouth,
Mm-hmm.
people recommending people,
Yeah.
us just getting on social media, as
Mm-hmm.
we said in previous episodes, and just messaging people, hey, we found
Mm-hmm.
you, you're doing great work, hey, can you be on an episode of
Yeah.
our podcast? And we've gotten positive responses.
Yeah, I think that's the important part. We tried to bring new people, like not people that we already had connections with, people that people may be already familiar with. We tried to step outside of that and identify um, areas that we haven't really touched on,
Hmm.
and still try to be successful with that. I
Yeah.
think we did that.
Yeah, we did. And so, shall we do like just a quick recap of
Sure,
our season 2
absolutely.
episodes? And so, I gotta look at my notes because we covered so much just
We
to make
did. We had so many
sure.
different episodes. So,
So, I know episode 1,
hmm,
we spoke with Sophia Loren,
hmm,
who's the owner of So Fit For You Wellness. So, check her out. Her Instagram is at Sophia Loren. And so during that episode, we discussed, mindfulness, meditation, deep breathing, stretch therapy. She really emphasized the importance of, your body, your physical, your
hmm,
mental,
hmm,
and then that role that plays into like just your overall health. So, what were your takeaways, I guess, from that episode?
I think for me, just her driving home the point of just being consistent.
Yeah.
Because I think that was an area where I kind of struggle, where I kind of start some things and then I kind of let it fall by the wayside as my life tends to um, kind of speed up. I tend to fall short on keeping a routine as far as being fit and being active and all that kind of stuff. So she was saying about being consistent and doing small things. So that was important. She showed us some chair yoga, some
Mhm.
things that we could do without even getting up, things we could do while we're at work, at our desk, or what have you. So all of the little nuggets that she kind of shared, they've been kind of sticking with me. So
Yeah, I agree. The consistency part in my whole self care routine, because I have a bad habit of starting something and then after a while, just kind of not quitting, but just, all right, I'm either bored with it or I don't have time to do it anymore.
hmm
So just remaining consistent
hmm
was important. And I did have a stretch therapy session at her
okay,
studio, which was really good.
good for you.
I do recommend if anybody's interested in stretch therapy, please go to her studio, which is located in Lanham, Maryland. All the information is on her website, so definitely check her out.
hmm
Okay, so episode two, what was episode two? That was with Miss Shanae,
That was
right?
with Miss Shanae. hmm
So that episode was about surviving intimate partner violence, and so she shared her own personal story.
hmm
She's not currently in that situation anymore, but she talked about her journey, the resources that were available to her, as well as the resources that are available to anyone now. So, what were your
hmm
takeaways from that?
I think for me, the episode was powerful just because of her being transparent.
Mhm.
Just being able to sit here and kind of talk about a point in her life where she kind of struggled.
Mhm.
And, because sometimes people like, girl, you should have left that situation. But it's not always easy as it's said. What they say, easy said is done.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just not that easy at times. So just being vulnerable and transparent and sharing her story, I think it was really impactful. Also, her story of resilience, like how she was able to leave that situation and how she's productive now and is sharing her story like across the state. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I took away the same thing. When I see her, I see strength, I see resilience, and I think that's something you mentioned during the episode. Um, I think she's an amazing person. Her energy is just so welcoming and warm. So I'm glad we were able to connect with her.
hmm
Um, and I look forward to, whatever we're able to do with her moving forward. All right. So the third episode was an interesting topic. So this one was finding your pleasure in today's political climate. So our special guest was Jay Marie, who is a certified sexologist. And if you're interested in learning more about her, her Instagram is at Boobtionary. So BOOBTIONARY. So that's how you can reach her. And so in that we explore consent, sexual autonomy, pleasure. So what were your takeaways from that episode?
So for me, I think what stood out to me was just her talking about the importance of boundaries in your
Mhm.
relationship. I think sometimes we kind of just go with the flow and we kind of let people make decisions for us and we just even if we're uncomfortable we still kind of go with it. So just talking about different ways to have that conversation and setting boundaries in your relationship, I think that's what stuck out with me.
Yeah, I agree. Standing firm on what you want and what you don't want, and being able to speak up for yourself and not being afraid to do so, because it's your body, your choice. So, I feel like there was a lot of gems in that episode. So we really appreciate
hmm
her taking the time out to speak with us.
yes, yes.
Yes.
And if you're unfamiliar with a sexologist and stuff, because I don't have any girlfriends that be like, oh, I'm going to talk to a sexologist. Um, Make sure you check out her Instagram page. She has all types of events throughout the year, and you should definitely participate in some of those.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, episode 4. So this is the episode when we talked about the role that a doula plays, just their importance in maternal health, the Black community, helping with improving maternal health outcomes. And so we had a certified doula, Courtney,
Mm-hmm.
join us on that episode. And just like everyone else, if you're interested in getting in touch with her, her Instagram is at doula coco 42. So at doula koko 42 is her IG. So what was your takeaway from that episode?
I think the whole episode was new to me
Mm-hmm.
because I was unfamiliar with doula services. Like, I don't have any friends that I know of that actually utilize doula services. So everything she was saying, she was actually educating me um, on it, from her role, um, the parents, the moms, her relationship with the hospitals, the healthcare system, insurances. All of it was all new to me. So I was extremely appreciative of that episode or that conversation with her, as well as her experiences. Like, just seeing some of the racism and things that are still occurring, it was like mind blowing. Like, hearing her tell story after story of her experience, bad experiences she's had in certain hospitals, um, is alarming.
Yeah. No, I agree. I definitely learned a lot from her as far as, what doulas do. Um, I think she's a great storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
Just her sharing her experiences, good and bad. They were both very eye opening. So I really appreciate her as well for taking the time to come out, just to talk about what she does and just the need
Mm-hmm.
for doulas. And I appreciate, like I said, what doulas do so much. And I'm glad we were able to
Mm-hmm.
highlight that.
Absolutely.
All right. And so, episode 5, that episode focused on youth mentorship, leadership, decision making. And so, we had two guests for that episode. So, Miss Brianna Wills, who's the CEO and founder of Young Queens in Training, and then also Miss Shamika Toller. Who is a young woman out here in school, single mom, doing her thing. So, what were some takeaways from that episode?
Mm-hmm. I think one of the takeaways for me was that just understanding or realizing how many organizations there are out there that we're unfamiliar with. Like, people that are doing amazing work that sometimes, I don't want to say go unnoticed, because people are noticing them. They know all about the information. It's just new to me. But I think the conversation to see a young woman that's actually doing her thing, having her own business, and inspiring younger women to be leaders and to be mentors themselves, is that's encouraging. It really, really is, because it's a service that so many people need. I know during the episode we talked about not having a mentor of our own, and just having to know that there's programs out there that people don't have to kind of figure it out and kind of just kind of grab onto information wherever they find it. But there are people that are in place that can actually help them be successful. That's encouraging.
Yeah, I agree. I think for me, um, with Brianna and the work that she's doing, I'm just amazed at how plugged in she's in, and I think I mentioned that during the episode. And she's out there, she's in the community, she's working with these young girls, she's making a difference. She's aligned herself with a lot of people across the city, and she just keeps going, considering everything that's happened with COVID. And, I know she's a mom herself, but, just her resilience and her passion for wanting to make a change and being from Baltimore. Like I said, I just admire her for what she's doing with Young Queens in Training. And then Shamika as well, just being young, just considering everything she has going on with her life and just wanting to, you know, just exceed and just continue to push forward in her life. And she mentioned that she's not just doing it for herself, but she's doing it for, her family. So just her having that motivation just to keep growing. Again, I admire her for, just always just moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good episode. So I guess all in all, how do you feel now that we're wrapping up season 1? Like, what are your thoughts? What are your real feelings about it?
I feel good. I feel hopeful. I feel like we heard our listeners. We had got some feedback in the beginning of the season, like people telling us about the topics that they wanted to hear. They talking about they wanted to be more interactive and all of that. So we tried to incorporate all of those things. So I feel hopeful. I
Mhm.
feel like we did our absolute best to try to shape each episode into everything that the listeners wanted and things that represented our organization and supported our funding stream. So I feel good about our season we just had.
Yeah. No, it did, and I feel I'm happy to hear how the conversation about HIV and sexual health, how it's incorporated into all these different areas, whether it's a small, short conversation that, these women are having with their, you know, I guess not clients or customers, but the women that they're working with.
Mm-hmm.
They are talking about HIV, they are talking about sexual health. So I was just happy to hear that. I think all in all, um, I think we touched on a lot of areas that were recommended to us because these topics weren't something that we came up with ourselves. They were suggested by our focus group of Black women. So I'm happy that we were able to find guests to speak on these topics.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know this isn't like the end of the podcast. I know it's just a goodbye for now while we take a break just to find funding because it takes money
Mm-hmm.
to do
Absolutely.
things. So it's not like a we ain't coming back, but it's just a bye for now, until we find why you making that space. While we find other funding streams.
Dear John, what are you
Dear
doing right
John,
now?
we love you. It was all good while it lasted, but
Oh
nah,
goodness.
I mean it's the reality of the situation.
It's a pause.
It's a pause. It's a pause for now. You know, just so we can just continue to grow. We want She to be that organization women can come to when they need resources, when they need services. We want to be that dependable organization that people can rely on. So,
Mm-hmm.
we just have to make sure we have things in place so that we're out here and that we last a long time. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah, no,
that's
I agree. I know we want to do more like in-person sessions. Um, so it makes sense. It's
yeah.
a pause for
It's
the
a pause.
moment.
It's a pause. But we're doing a lot of other great things.
Mm-hmm.
So still, please, still continue to follow us on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Check out our website. We're still in the process. We have a website up. It's great. But of course, we're going to update it so that people are aware of everything we have going on. And the podcast is just one of many things that
Mm-hmm.
we have going on. So, just because the podcast is on pause doesn't mean that our organization and the work that we're doing is on pause. So continue to support us. Um, you can volunteer. You can just make suggestions if you want to partner with us. We're definitely open to collaborate. Um, you know, just let us know. Reach out to us. We're available. We also are open to accepting
Mm-hmm.
donations. We're planning a fundraising event in the fall, so we'll definitely be updating everyone about that. You will hear more about that on our social media as well as our website.
Mm-hmm.
Anything
And
else?
that's what I was great. get ready to say just now, just stay tuned for our fundraiser that's upcoming, probably in October. But yeah, all the information will be on our social media pages so that you can participate.
At Shaping Health Equity is it.
Absolutely.
So, any final words, Tanya, as we wrap up this wrap up episode?
No, I don't think so. I think it's been a great season, and I just look forward to um, all the increased work that we'll be doing in the community, all the new relationships that we're going to make. So,
Yeah. And then thank you to everyone that's been just supporting us. This is new for us, and we've been tapping into a lot of our close friends and family members for advice, for help, for assistance. So, thank you to our family, our friends, everyone who's just been supporting Shaping Health Equity, our advisory board, our funders. So thank you so much. And we look forward to connecting with everyone in other ways.
take care.
Bye.